Hello, hello.
Whenever you're ready, Mike. Test, test. Sound check. Good morning. How are you today? Welcome to Live Oak. I shall start singing opera and then it will come on because it will embarrass me. That would be awesome. There we go. Good morning. How does that sound? Should I still do opera? Oh, 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 oh. Well, I just want to make sure that everything works and I'm not going to break it. Are you good?
Hey, Michael. Testing, testing. We'll find out. We didn't get a mic check, and it's on, but I'm gonna make sure. Good morning and welcome home to Live Oak Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Michael Enyart and my pronouns are he, him. Thank you for joining us, we who bring a teaching of hope, we who bring a saving message, and who welcome all in our doors. Buddhists and Christians, atheists and pagans, straight, gay, lesbian, bisexual, cisgender, transgender, non-binary, and intersex, all who are seeking, searching, looking for more meaning, more service, more love, all of us gathered here today. I invite you to put your smartphones on the worship mode, which means it won't make any sounds, but you can still post on social media about things you hear today, to let those who can't be with us this morning share a little bit of our experience, maybe even an invitation to join you here next week. Please rise now in either body or in spirit and join us in singing hymn number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In.
Our chalice today is being lit by Benson. This is a congregation bound not by creed, but by covenant. May those in agreement affirm our church covenant now. We affirm a caring community of and for all ages, seeking wisdom, doing service, and living with integrity. In our diversity, our covenant holds us in unity as we celebrate our shared spiritual journey. You may be seated. Good morning, I'm Renee Garcia. My pronouns are she, her. One thing I especially love about this church is its acceptance of diversity. And we don't just accept it, we celebrate it. Diversity in how we look, who we love, how we identify ourselves, and in what we believe. I'd like to welcome any guests we have today. We're so happy that you took a chance to walk through our doors and join us for worship. If this is your first time here, please stop by the visitors table so we can meet you and answer any questions you might have. This church is buzzing 7 days a week, and there are a lot of ways for you to connect with our beloved community beyond Sunday. The best way to keep up with what's happening is through our weekly email newsletter. You can sign up to get it at the visitor's desk or by going to liveoakuu.org and click on What's Happening. One thing happening this Friday is the Fresh Food for All program, which provides food to families. Volunteers are needed to make this a success, so please come help anytime between 8:30 a.m. and 11. As we join together in worship, let us honor the truths that guide us. Truths spoken in many voices, in many languages, from many hearts. Let us honor the power of belief. Not one belief, but the sacred act of believing itself. In love, in justice, in community, in the unfolding of truth. This I believe, that you believe, that we may not believe the same. And still we come together, choosing curiosity over certainty, connection over conformity, pluralism over perfection. May we remember that our differences are not a weakness, but a source of strength, and that here we make space for every voice in the shared story we are writing together.
Each Sunday, we gather as a congregation. We bring our joys and sorrows with us into this room. When we ask for remembrance or celebration or prayer or thoughts, we make of this sanctuary a sacred circle. From Bill Dower, hoping for the healing for the family members who are healing. The McCulloughs, do you like cucumbers or know someone who does? We have some that need homes in the fellowship hall. We don't want to take any home. For all joys and sorrows, spoken and unspoken, we bear witness with our care and concern. Please join me in singing.
Please rise in body or spirit for hymn number 354, We Laugh, We Cry.
We
Good morning. I am Jarman. I'm your Director of Lifespan Faith Development. And I want to invite everyone that is young or young of heart to lean in for a moment, because today we're going to be talking about something really important. What do you believe? Not what someone told you to believe, not what you should believe, but what you believe deep down in your own heart. This is part of being a Unitarian Universalist. We think asking questions and discovering what's true for you is a big part of growing up. And honestly, it is a big part of being a grown-up. There's a project called This I Believe, and it started almost 70 years ago. And it invited people, regular people, famous people, people from everywhere, to write down a few sentences about what they believe is true and what is important to them. They didn't have to be long, it doesn't have to be fancy, just real. Some people wrote things like, I believe in kindness. I believe that ice cream can fix anything. I believe that everyone deserves to be heard. I believe love wins. And now I wonder, what do you believe? Let's try something together today. In the baskets that you'll find at the end of each row, you'll find Post-it notes that are little hearts and pens. And I'm going to invite you to each take a Post-it note and a pen, and we may have to share. And if you don't have one, just raise your hand, and we will bring one to you. Thank you. There's always helpers. Look for the helpers. So look, and everybody has their heart, and maybe you have a pen. Now, just for a moment, close your eyes if you'd like. I want you to put your hand on your heart. Now, quietly, inside, ask yourself, what do I believe? Let's sit with that for a moment. What matters most to me? Take a deep breath. You can write on the Post-it. You can write one word. You can write a phrase. You can draw a picture. What do you believe in? And we'll take a moment to do that. Again, it doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to be real. Oh my goodness, I missed y'all. You're going to say what you believe. They already wrote theirs in long form. If you'd like, after the service today, we want you to hang your heart up on our This I Believe board that's in the fellowship hall. And it will become a living rainbow of our beliefs and a way to see each other's hearts. And now in this moment, I invite you to turn to someone you may not know and share with them, what do you believe? You can also share it with people you know. I'm going to ask you to start wrapping it up. I hope you learned something about somebody that you didn't know before. Sharing what we believe helps us to build a strong and loving community. Our different beliefs show how Unitarian Universalism's value of pluralism welcomes many paths to our truth. And the best part is, just like James Luther Adams stated, revelation is not sealed. Our beliefs can grow and change as we do. So thank you for being brave. Thank you for wondering, and thank you for sharing what's on your heart. And with this, our lesson is told.
Our reading is from Henri Louis Bergon. Fortunately, some are born with spiritual immune systems that sooner or later give rejection to the illusory worldview grafted upon them from birth through social conditioning. They begin sensing that something is amiss and start looking for answers. Inner knowledge and unusual anomalous outer experiences show them a side of reality others are oblivious to. And so begins their journey of awakening. Each step of the journey is made by following the heart instead of following the crowd, and by choosing knowledge over veils of ignorance.
Good morning, friends. My name is Krystal, and I am here to tell you a little bit about what I believe. It's an honor to be here with you today, especially as somebody who's still growing into this faith and still very much figuring it out. When I was asked to speak today, I sat with a big set of questions, and to be honest, my first thought was, uh-oh, that's a lot to unpack before coffee or Dr. Pepper. But the more that I sat with it, the more that I realized that these questions I'm already living into every single day. And maybe you are too. So here's a little bit about what I've been carrying lately. What gives my life meaning and purpose? For me, it's my relationships. It's my boys, my husband Lee, my sibling Sam, my parents who shaped me so much of who I am. It's my friends, my chosen family, the people I get to love and be loved by. It's also the work I've chosen, serving communities through nonprofit work, walking along people, doing big, messy, good things in the world. And it's the small moments too, making someone laugh, offering help, or showing up for someone who needs it. I find meaning in being part of something bigger than just me. And that's actually how I found my way to this faith. It started, strangely enough, with Santa Claus. When my oldest Benson was still a baby, we were looking for a safe, low-cost way to take our NICU baby to see Santa. I found selfies with Santa at the church down the road. And my first thought was, a church. That didn't feel like a place for us. But I looked up on the church's website and read their values, and I read their mission. And I thought, okay, this feels different. So we went. And it was different. The people were kind. No one asked what we believed. No one tried to teach us or preach to us. It was just about making the kids feel safe and seen. The Santa even talked to them like they mattered. It was so good that we went back every year. During the early days of the pandemic, I started to follow more and more of Live Oak's social media. I was curious, drawn in, but I was unsure of the right way to try it out. Finally, in early 2023, I came to my first service. Benson and my sibling came with me, and it was life-changing. I found a place where I felt seen and heard, where the values matched mine, where people were seeking the same changes in the world, where children were being taught with care and compassion. That's when I knew I'd found my spiritual home. Do I believe in something greater than myself? Yes. I don't always have the perfect words to say for it, and that's okay. I've come to understand that sacred is not a distant being, but a deep connection. The kind that pulses through shared laughter, tears, music, nature, birth, grief, and quiet. Sometimes I call it spirit or love. Sometimes it's just that feeling that says, this matters. It's not always easy to name it, but I know it when I feel it. And being a part of the Unitarian Universalist community has helped me to trust those feelings. UU isn't strict. It gives me space where I can question, wrestle, wonder, and grow. It's taught me that I don't have to agree on everything to belong with each other. My beliefs have changed over time, and I'm grateful for that. I've let go of the black and white thinking, and I've embraced spirituality, even when I wasn't sure if I was allowed to. I've softened and strengthened at the same time, and I know that there's more change ahead. I want to learn how to stay grounded and hopeful. I want to be a parent with more intention and less fear. I want to be a little bit more human every day. When I say I am a Unitarian Universalist, I'm not saying I have all the answers. I'm saying I believe in the power of love. I believe in the dignity of every person. I believe we belong to each other and to this big, beautiful, messy world. I believe we are here to take care of one another, and I believe we are still becoming. So that's where I am today. Still learning, still evolving, still trying to love better, live braver, and listen more deeply. And so I'm very grateful to be doing that alongside of all of you. Thank you.
Good morning. Once again, my name is Michael. When I was first asked to speak on the subject of this, I believe, I was rather flattered. I thought this should be pretty easy. But once I started thinking about this, I panicked a little when I wondered, so what do I believe? What's the difference between a belief and a value? I started thinking perhaps I was a little hasty when I agreed to stand here today. I wondered if I was riding on an elevator, let's say from the 10th or 11th floor, going down to the ground floor, and a fellow passenger asked me, tell me 2 or 3 things that are part of your beliefs. Would I have a ready answer? I wouldn't have. I would need 40 more floors to try to come up with one. So when preparing to stand here today, this is what I learned. I learned that beliefs tend to be longer-term, deeply held convictions we have about ourselves, others, and the world. And often we hold on to these beliefs without the benefit of definitive proof. An example of a belief might be people are generally good and kind. Or perhaps, from an internal perspective, everyone is out to get me. That's a belief. In comparison, our values are the measures we use to attribute worth and find meaning in our lives. Values are things like integrity, compassion, empathy, even our own UU values that you've seen on the screen that are out on that wall out there. Justice, generosity, equity, interdependence, transformation. All of those are values. While thinking about this, I realized that my values and my beliefs have evolved throughout the course of my life. Growing up, my family of origin and wider community insinuated what I should believe. However, once I moved outside the sphere of those influences, I began replacing those beliefs with new ones, and new values, and new views. Views of myself, beliefs about myself and the world. And even these have evolved throughout my 7 decades. Yes, 7. And my beliefs will most likely continue to evolve over time. Now, although I am still working to refine and clarify my elevator speech about what I believe, for now, this I believe. I believe that serendipity, synchronicity, and unexpected miracles will come my way. I know this because I have personally observed and experienced these a number of times over the course of my life, and these gifts came to me when I needed it the most. I've had moments when the right words, the right action, or the right response came to me when I least expected it. This is when I had a sudden convergence of intuition, a mental warning, or the right people that came together at just the right time. Although I don't have enough time to describe these here and now, feel free to ask me about them sometime. I also believe that perhaps years to come, it is inevitable that our nation will need to endure things I never ever thought possible or imaginable in my lifetime. My ability to influence any of this may end up being small. In the meantime, my belief is that I will remain resolute and hold tight through it all, and I believe we are capable of weathering the storms and upheavals that may come. And finally, I believe and I know this Live Oak UU community as and will continue to be my family, my one and only community. Catherine and I joined Live Oak just 4 months before the 9/11 disaster in New York in 2001. That was a horrible, terrible time, but we came together and we held on to one another here at Live Oak. This community has been and will continue to be my source for love, acceptance, and support. I am fed and cared for here. We will hold on to each other no matter what. And I thank all of you for that. I have promised myself that I will continue to identify and refine my beliefs, get my elevator speech down cold. But for now, I'll close with this question. What do you believe?
My name is Barbara Coldiron. I believe that the purpose of life is to learn and to grow. Learning and growing changes you, oftentimes profoundly. It has changed who I am. Having become a Unitarian Universalist at the age of 13, the first principle was a relatively early lesson for me. The first principle is the inherent worth and dignity of every person. I later amended it to include everyone and everything in the universe. Another way to say this principle is God is in everything and everyone, or maybe even there's no one here but us chickens. What I've discovered is that I keep learning this lesson over and over again. Not that I forget the lesson, or I didn't really learn the lesson to begin with, but that there are deeper and deeper understandings in the lesson. Though I have to admit, sometimes I had to go back and learn the same lesson again. I started out grappling with how do I treat others as equal when everyone is so different? Then I went to, could I treat Hitler as an equal? Then I had these questions. What does it mean to treat others as equals? What is my obligation to others and to myself? And why do I keep forgetting what I've come to believe? My understanding of the differences in others' behaviors and evil in general comes down to this. I believe everyone behaves in ways that are in their best interest and to the best of their abilities. Some people see the benefit of them to themselves in helping others, and some just haven't yet learned to see how we are all interdependent. Others have not yet healed from traumas, fears, or loneliness they've experienced that has distorted their sense of right and wrong, or what would be best for them in the long run. And then there are those born with a neurological makeup such that they can't experience empathy or understand the full long-term consequences of their actions. They started from a different place than I did. This last decade, I worked on including animals as equals. I asked myself, why do I contribute to the exploitation of animals by contributing to the animal agricultural system? I had to stop eating meat and dairy and stop purchasing animal products to come into greater harmony with my belief about the inherent worth and dignity of all animals. I've come to believe that most people change by degrees. First comes the awareness of the deeper level of understanding. Next comes the realization that one's behaviors don't quite match their level of understanding. Then there is the discomfort of the awareness of living in hypocrisy, living a lie. Gradually, one's actions come into alignment with their understandings. This helps me be more understanding and forgiving of myself and others. The only exception to this process that I've ever seen is in my sister. And even then, not in every instance. But she has turned on a dime twice that I know of. Once when she was told that diet drinks contain chemicals that are harmful to her. She stopped drinking them immediately and for good. And again, when she made the connection that a dog is a rabbit, is a sheep, is a cow. They all want to live, and killing one is the same as killing the other. That's when she stopped eating meat. My current work is learning about supremacism in our society and how am I unwittingly contributing to the continuation of the system of supremacy. Supremacism is the wrongful belief or idiom that might makes right. In other words, if I have the power over others, then it is my right to exert that power. It is the basis of colonialism and wars. It is the basis of racism and chauvinism. It is present in the abuse of political power. It values the accumulation of wealth over health and welfare of others. It encourages humans to use up the earth's resources without feeling guilt. My goal in life is to lift that veil that is hiding the erroneous idiom in plain sight. I want to learn where I've been buying into that belief without realizing that I have. I want to learn the deeper lesson and share what I've learned. I want to help others see that might makes right is all around us in our society, and it is wrong. It is the deep secret that those in power don't want us to learn. But I'm not the child in the story that shouts out, "The emperor has no clothes." I have been complicit. In shouting out, what I would really be saying is, "Look what I have learned and you have not." Another important lesson I have learned in my life is that I can't make anyone change their minds or their ways. I only have the power to change myself. I can tell people about the things I've learned, but I have to let go of the outcome. I can't base my happiness on what others do or think. So what is it that I should do? How do I take what I have learned and help the world? I can be honest about my own struggles and complicity. I can be inviting rather than accusatory. I can send healing thoughts to my enemies. I can hold protest signs that contain positive action messages or point out the root of the problem. I feel the need to deepen my understanding of how supremacism is ingrained in our society and in me. And as I learn and grow, I will stay open to the changes needed in me to make my actions mirror my beliefs. I believe that is my purpose in life. I invite you to join me.
And then there was one. And I feel so honored to follow these thoughtful reflections written by the three previous people. I thank you. So what do I believe? I believe that the spark of the divine lives in each of us. Not outside of us, not up high in the sky, but right here. In our laughter, in our grief, in our questions, in our kindness, and in the quiet and the everyday moments of life. When my kid was 4 years old, my beloved father-in-law passed away. Morgan called him Papo. Papo was so much fun to be around. He was just a riot. I mean, like when I think of him now, the only thing I think of is laughter. 20 years later, 25 years later. He was such a light in our lives. And a few months after his passing, Morgan and I are sitting there at lunch, having lunch over a bowl of ramen, slurping noodles. And Morgan says, "I miss Papo." And I said, "I do too." And he said, "I feel sad." And I said, "I do too." I said, "But it's okay to be sad because Papo is always with us. Whenever you feel sad, I want you to remember that Papo lives in your heart. And if you need him or you miss him, just put your hand over your heart because he's right there. He's with us. Feel his love in you." Morgan looked at me like I was crazy. And then he put his little hand over his heart. And after a while, we continued eating in thoughtful silence. And all of a sudden, 4-year-old Morgan sits up straight with conviction and says, "Mom, I know why people die." And me being the mom, the you mom, go, "Really? Do you? Tell me more." Yeah, every time someone dies that we love, a little piece of them comes into our hearts. And we collect all that love, Mom, just like Papo's. And when our hearts are all filled up with love, we die, and we get to share our love with everyone who ever loved us. And I was like, whoa. I know that this sounds simplistic, a child's narrative of grief and love, but it had a profound effect on me. I mean, here I am 25 years later sharing it with you. It was holy wisdom. This I believe, that when we love, when we grieve, when we gather together in community, that spark of the divinity within us shines brighter. Every time we do a kindness, we offer a smile, we care, we love, we ignite that spark within ourselves and within others. And my purpose in life is to collect as many sparks as I can. Be a sparkler. I believe that we are all God. However you want to translate that, whatever your universal translator says, the universe, the spirit, the awe, the wonder. I believe that we are that. Not in the way of being all-powerful, but in the sense that the divine lives through us. Each of us carries a piece of the sacred. And when we come together in collective liberation and love, our sparks, well, they ignite something even more powerful. Together, we become something whole and holy. This is why I believe in faith development, not just as education, but as spiritual formation, as the work of growing our souls. When we know better, we do better. And as we grow, we learn how to live more fully into our values. Unitarian Universalism doesn't tell us what to believe. It asks of us, how do we want to live? And I want to live as someone who sees the divine in everyone. So I try to walk through the world as a collector of sparks, a bearer of love, a participant in the ongoing creation of a more loving and more just world. And this I believe. Papo's love is still here, that Morgan's wisdom is sacred, that your spark matters, and that together we are divine. I believe God and love are synonyms. Amen, and blessed be.
Please join me in a moment of reflection in words and silence. These words by Greta W. Crosby. In reflecting upon the dispiriting time in which we live, I have come to believe that the basic religious response is to refuse to be dispirited for long. May we seek and find grounding wherever it may be found, perhaps in the buds bursting in the air, in the grace of a touch, a smile, a word, a helping hand, a decision or vote or election that goes well, a discovery that enlightens or encourages us. May we trust in the Spirit that will not be quelled forever, that rises up in people from some mysterious source, energy that comes again to affirm that people matter, their needs and aspirations matter, and that the condition of people's flourishing is the cultivation of truth and love.
We are the tradition of the Free Church. Our church and our community outreach are supported not from an outside source, but from within. We invite you to make a financial contribution to help sustain this church's vital work, knowing that every gift, large and small, is appreciated and carefully used in service to our mission. The QR code or text information for donations is available at the back of the seat pocket. If you would like to donate by credit card, Apple, or Google Pay, someone from stewardship can assist you near the kitchen after the service. As the ushers come forward to receive the offering, I invite you to say with me these words. We are building, beloved community, with our labor and with our treasure. With gratitude, we receive the offering. May it help us to fulfill our mission in the world.
Go forth knowing this: we believe in the power of love, in the worth and dignity of every person, in the sparks of the divine that lives within us all. We believe that truth is not owned, but discovered, that questions are holy, and that our searching draws us closer to one another and to what is sacred. We believe that justice is love in action, that we are called to build a world of equity, compassion, and peace. We believe in community, not perfect, but faithful, not uniform, but united by covenant and care. And so may we leave this place not with all the answers, but with open hearts, ready hands, and the courage to live what we believe. Go in peace, go in love, go together.
We are so blessed by the pianists in this congregation. This is your invitation to the Faith Development Hour. So we have a lot of things going on today that can help you decide what you believe. So we have from 11:15 to 12:15 today, we have the UU Makerspace in room 201, where we're going to be exploring what is church, and we're going to start building churches, whatever that may look like. And then we also have in room 105 with Joel, we have the Simpsons Social Justice, looking at social justice through the view of Lisa Simpson and what we can learn from that. We also have the Bring Your Own Practice in room 208, and I'm going to tell you the truth, I cannot remember what they're doing today. And I was thinking somebody might yell it out, but they're not. So go to room 208, and there is a special Bring Your Own Practice today. And the nursery is always open till 12:30 for our youngest friends. So I invite you, no matter what, to find what excites you, what brings a spark to you, and engage in it in this beautiful community. Thank you.
Please rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn, number 414, as we leave this friendly place, and remain standing for the extinguishing of our chalice. And now, as we extinguish the chalice, let us say these words to each other. We extinguish the flame here that it might glow gently in our hearts. May it light your path as you leave this place. May it guide your way until we are together again. It's been such a gift to be together today. Thank you to today's home team who provided hospitality and worship and tech leadership. That includes Dawn, Larice, Mike, Mark, CJ, Judy, and Benson, and of course our speakers, Krystal, Mike, Barbara, and Chris. Let's continue that hospitality by taking the next 5 minutes to speak with someone we don't know. Members, be sure to introduce yourself to any visitors we have. They're the ones with the handwritten name tags. And be sure to show them where to find the visitors' table and the coffee. And may we all know the blessings of fellowship.